As the light of freedom in America begins to dim, as American exceptionalism is questioned, even mocked, those of us who still remember freedom long to return to that America that was, but sadly, there are but a few of us who remember what America was and can see now what she's becoming. Throughout the centuries, America has been a force for good around the world. This heaven-blessed land has been a nation unlike any other. Our pilgrim fathers were chased from the shores of Europe because they insisted on living reverently, shunning non-biblical doctrines and keeping Sabbath. They came to America to plant a land where God could be honored, where men could live out their lives in freedom and have the liberty to worship as they were led by the Holy Spirit. This was to be a place where they could build a future of their choosing. They left England because arrogant kings and lords treated them as peasants, enacted laws that controlled every aspect of their lives and taxed them beyond what they could bear. And those taxes were being used to support causes which many found objectionable. So they left, and they came to this new land, to America. They knew they'd be facing hardship and loss, wilderness, hunger, and hard work, and yes, even death at the hands of Indian tribes. Yet they came. So strong was their desire for freedom, freedom in every sense of the word, freedom to speak their mind, freedom to live out their lives without government officials suffocating them, freedom to worship how they chose with no one to say that they were too extreme because they didn't keep certain church holidays or because they kept Sabbath, freedom to think great thoughts, freedom to write great books, and freedom to dream great dreams. These were an exceptional people, exceptional because they were willing to give up every conceivable comfort for freedom. They left behind those who were timid and found a way to live with the boot of government on their neck. They set sail, not just for America, but for the dream of an exceptional freedom. When this great nation found it necessary to cut the political ties with Mother England, history records that at that one moment in time, at that juncture in history, some of the most exceptional men to have ever drawn breath were by heaven's appointment joined together in one great cause that would forever change the world. Collectively, these men form perhaps the greatest assemblage of brilliant, freedom-loving intellect in the history of planet Earth. And whether knowingly or unknowingly, they were fulfilling a prophetic and divine destiny laid out before the worlds were framed. And what did these founding fathers give us? A nation? Yes, but it was much more than a nation. It was a dream. The dream of a place where men could be free to think, to grow, free to be an entrepreneur, free to worship as they chose. They had a limited government that worked for them, not like England, where they were subjects of the government. Sure, they made mistakes like the sin against God and man in the introduction of slavery in America, and though it would take them better than a half a century, their progeny bled and died to end the generational transgression and atone for the sins of the fathers. That, friends, is exceptionalism. And because of the sacrifices of those who have come before us, we are placed here in this greatest land in history. We became a nation unparalleled in wealth and power, imagination and freedom, a place where families flourished and business grew, and ideas brought innovation and unimaginable progress to mankind. But through progressive politics, educational propaganda, and out-and-out lies about who we are and what we are, many have lost sight of the America that our founding fathers gave us. Freedom's light, my friends, is fading. The cancer of progressivism is eating at the heart of our republic, and we have become a nation of takers. We have forgotten the quest of our pilgrim fathers and of the founders of this nation. We have traded freedom and our birthright for a mess of pottage called security. But is it really security when it's left us with dependency upon the communist Chinese for financing, force us to cut deals and pay hundreds of billions of dollars every year to militants in the Middle East, the Russian mafia, and thugs like Hugo Chavez for our energy needs? This security has brought us to our knees with a $200 trillion debt that we can never repay. Now the questions we have to ask ourselves are simple. Is there a way back? And can we turn the ship of state back around? Frankly, folks, that depends on us, every one of us. What are we willing to do to be America again? Will we make the sacrifices necessary to restore freedom, or Or does it all end right here with this generation? Folks, we're not being asked to sail into an unknown sea and brave a land brimming with hostile terrain, possible starvation, and no one to help if something goes wrong. We're not being asked to lay our lives on the line and take up arms against the strongest military power on earth. No, we're simply being asked to give some of what we have today to restore this land. All we need to do is stop taking. Stop selfishly taking from everyone around us so that we don't have to face our responsibilities. Just stop taking. Refuse to let the government fund our retirement. Tell them thanks, but no thanks. Tell them thanks, but no thanks to the 99 weeks of unemployment. Tell them we'll handle our own health care. Tell them we'll decide locally what education will be. Just stop. Stop all of the insanity. Government cannot provide anything to you or anyone else. The only money they have is what they take from us. And every time we waddle up to the government trough, we're taking something from someone else that doesn't belong to us. We're at the final crossroads, my friends, and the decisions we make today will determine whether we tell our children and those who come after us what we did to restore the land, or how in our own sloth and greed we let it slip away. We're real close to extinguishing the light of freedom in America. Already we can feel that boot of government, as Mr. Obama calls it, on our collective throats. Those who died planting this land will have died in vain. Those who faced down the might of England and gave their lives, it will have all been for naught. Those who have given all on hillsides and valleys and forests and deserts around the globe for our freedom will have died for nothing. I, for one, long for freedom. Not just the freedom to walk around wherever I please, but the freedom to live my life, to run my business, to invest, plan my retirement, and live free of the worry about whether or not I've somehow broken one of the laws found in the over 50,000 pages of statutes in the Federal Registry in Washington. That's right, over 50,000 pages. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to vote for the folks I think will go to Washington and state capitals and city halls. Those who will start undoing what has been done by their predecessors. I'm going to put money away every week to support the Tea Party and candidates who won't be worried about sending me pork, doing me special favors, or giving money to my industry. I just want government to leave me alone, to stay out of my life and let me breathe free. I plan to let my elected officials know that if they lie to me or cross me, I will work hard to vote them out of office, to recall them, or do whatever it takes to send them back home. I refuse to let our America be treated like this anymore. The left will say I'm angry, but I'm not. The right will say that I'm fringe. And perhaps I am. In fact, yes, I am. Me and 50 million other Americans just like me who are fed up with the government's lies that are enslaving us and our future to the socialist nightmare they're creating. The media will say that we are radicals, and guess what? They're right. We are. But folks, it's in our genes. Our pilgrim fathers were radicals. Our forefathers, our founders were radicals. How long can we deny our own DNA? Deep down in our soul is American exceptionalism. We long for it. We will fight for it. We will sacrifice everything for our freedom, the simple freedom of living our lives for ourselves and our posterity. Oh, beautiful for heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self their country loved and mercy more than life. America, America, may God thy gold refine, till all success be nobleness, and every gain divine. Oh, beautiful for patriot dreams that sees beyond the years. Thine alabaster cities gleam undimmed by human tears. Oh, America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Will you join with me We can make America again. But it's going to take all of us. It's going to take an effort. It's going to take the ability to sacrifice that our children and their children might still have an America to live in. Let us raise a standard to which the wise and honest can repair.